Hey 7-footers, welcome back. We are in episode 10 with Jenna Lemoncelli.
Gerard Hector.
And we are so excited. As you guys know, we are still in trade mode, summer league mode.
Free agency, all that.
All good storylines. And as we love to say, the NBA is a 365-day-a-year sport.
Certainly is.
And it is certainly heating up, so let's jump right into it. And per usual, you guys could have already guessed it, LeBron James. We were actually joking before about how we start every podcast with LeBron James, but can we help that the king is at the top of the news chain every week? I mean, we're a weekly show, and we got to talk about the topics. So let's do it. LeBron James, as most of you know, has officially signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. 4-year deal, $153.3 million. And there's a lot of stuff going on. The Lakers just had a press conference today where the Lakers GM Rob Pelinka said that LBJ made it clear to him that he wanted to join the Lakers squad because of its young core, and he's very excited about it. My question to you, Gerard, is how does LeBron James fit in with this young core?
Well, look.
We have, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram.
We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
LeBron James is the system wherever he goes, right? So, he is the sun, and all these little planets just sort of revolve and orbit around him.
That is true.
Right? So, this team, as it's currently constructed, is not going to be winning an NBA title this upcoming season. They're not good enough to beat the Warriors or the Rockets, really, in my opinion, right now.
Will they make...
Oh, they'll make the playoffs. Well, because it's very hard to stop LeBron James from making the playoffs, right? They will make the playoffs. But in the Western Conference, it'll be tough to beat the likes of those top two teams. The question is, LeBron can say, your young core. But look, he's also going to need some other veteran in there to do some heavy lifting with him.
Of course.
And the question is,
Rondo,
well, when I say veteran, I mean someone more like Kawhi Leonard. I mean like an actual other top tier player.
Okay.
Because, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, and Brandon Ingram, all guys who've shown us flashes, but can they consistently do it for an entire NBA season plus the playoffs? Well, we haven't seen any of them do it yet, right? Lonzo was hurt part of the year. Kuzma had a good rookie year, but a little up and down, as most rookies do. Ingram is still developing, and this is his second year, I believe, second or third year.
Yeah.
So, we need to know still what this year is about tryouts. I mean, it's a year-long tryout. Who's going to be on this team come 2019? Because that's the summer that matters. Because that's the summer when all the free agents are up. Boogie, KD, Kyrie, all the free agents are up in 2019.
Yes.
That's the Klay Thompson. That's going to be where, okay, who's sticking with me going forward? And who am I like, nah, we're not rolling with this guy.
Okay. And Lakers GM also said during the press conference today, July 11th, that yes, summer 2019, everybody knows it's a big one, but we are focused right now on this moment.
Now, you know that is Rob Pelinka GM speak. GMs have to say that. They have to say because look, and it's true, when they are focused on the right now, again, as long as these guys are actually here, this is an extended tryout for them.
Yes.
To say, hey, are we part of the Lakers' long-term future?
And he did say that, too. In other words, of course, he said, we're going to go into training camp on a fresh start. Everybody's basically going to try out, see who has the chops, who's been working out this summer. And we're going to see them keep up basically with the game.
That's the big thing. Who this summer has been working on their game and getting better?
Not making raps.
Listen, I don't care if you make raps in your free time, you want to date whoever, Jenner's Carter, I don't care about all that. Are you working on your game?
Exactly.
Because when the lights and the cameras and the curtains go up early October, and King James is like, he throws that pass to you in the corner, you best be ready and know
fire pass.
Right? You need to be ready. So are you working out? I mean, you saw LeBron put his video up of him doing his workout.
Did I see it?
Yes, I know, because you are all things LeBron. Which, by the way, we'll talk about you and your Instagram habits a little bit later on in today's show. But no, that's what people who are serious about their careers are doing, working on their games.
Agreed.
So are these young kids Brandon Ingram, everyone loves to throw the KD label on him, and I want people to stop doing that. There's only one KD, and it's KD, right? People need to stop throwing that label around on every tall, skinny guy that plays in the NBA. This guy's the next KD.
And the KD show starts.
It's not about that. It's not about that. But again, you know this too.
I do.
KD's a one of a kind. This is an elite, all-time great player. Like, if Brandon Ingram can approximate 40% of Kevin Durant, that would be fantastic. We don't know. Is he working on his game? We hope so. Lonzo, have you developed more consistency with that jump shot?
With a torn meniscus at the moment, I'm not sure.
Well, there's also some thoughts about that, whether or not that meniscus
was leaked
right,
by his camp?
Right.
Or not, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But, what are these guys doing? Because, again, this is where it matters, is the summertime preparing for the fall. Because, what's been looking good? Josh Hart's been looking good in Summer League.
Yes, he has. And LBJ actually name-dropped him when he was talking about that young core. That was in the news today, July 11th. So we do have some young guys catching his eye. So.
And listen, not that Lonzo is not a good player or whatever, but man, if Josh Hart can shoot and distribute his. Listen, in crunch time, they might put Hart on the floor, not you. So, again, this is extended tryout time now. And if you're a Los Angeles Laker player and you're on this roster and you're a young player, so you're Kuzma, you're Ball, you are Ingram. Listen, man, your Hart. The extended tryout starts now.
Absolutely.
This is all your tryout period. Yeah, take your time, go on your vacation, do all that. But hey, man, come training camp,
you better be ready.
Show not just to LeBron, show to Rob and Magic and Jeannie and the Lakers brass, you are here for real and you're serious about being a professional and being a part of Lakers history and lore and bringing a title to Tinseltown, right? That's what this is about.
Couldn't have said it better.
That's what Lakers people want. They want titles. That's what their franchise does.
And speaking of Pelinka, he also said today too that people were saying, did you celebrate LeBron signing with the Lakers and things like that? And he said, listen, we celebrate championships here.
Very true.
Very good statement. Loved that by him. And let's move on a little bit here, okay? So, I think you already said it though. Can they stack up against the Warriors if they get the right guy?
So,
say we bring in Kawhi, hypothetical situation. Okay. Can they stack up against the Warriors?
The Warriors.
Yeah, or that too,
or
since
Warriors.
they rolled the lead. But let's get serious. If hypothetically the Lakers sign Kawhi Leonard, can they stack up against the Warriors? Especially if they have Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee at the center. They have Rajon Rondo.
So, yes, they can be competitive. Can they beat the Warriors? I don't know. But anytime you have LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard, right? And that's your 3 and your 4, your 2, however you wanna position them. Those are two nightmarish guys on defense as well as on offense, right? They are.
Because Kawhi doesn't need the ball in his hands
at
all times. He's a knockdown shooter.
Shoots over 40% from 3. He is perfectly fine.
Exactly.
And we know what LeBron can do. Your challenge with the Warriors still is, okay, Kawhi and LeBron are 2 people. You still have Steph, Clay, and Kevin Durant. They have 3 people, right? Who is that third guy? And okay, so maybe they say, okay, we're going to focus on taking out KD, and which, again, we've seen it, 2-time reigning finals MVP. There's no taking him out, right? He just does his thing. Can we make him less efficient? That's what you hope. Can we make him less efficient?
Of course.
And again, with the way the Warriors run their offensive system, a lot of off-screen action, a lot of motion, a lot of ball movement. Can you play defense for 24 seconds with a full shot clock, right? Lance Stevenson, great defender, but Lance is antics, and sometimes he will, have a lapse and forget where he is on defense.
True, I am nervous about
he'll lose track of Clay coming off a pin down or something, and it's, wide open 3. And again, the margins are so small in this league, right? Because everyone in the NBA is very talented. Mm-hmm. But with the Warriors, it's slim. Listen, those guys don't need much daylight, okay? If you're a half beat late on a rotation, that's as good as gold.
Exactly, and we've talked about this before within the NBA. Like you said, it's anybody's game.
It really is.
You knock down a 3, you get off a good pick and roll, and that's it.
It's a make or miss league, as the players love to say, right? And it's true though, right? How many times do we see it? You come down, miss on one end, make on the other end. You go from being up 1 to being down 4 in a matter of, and you're like, how'd this happen?
Right.
And in crunch time, in those pressure situations, who are guys who have delivered time and time again when the pressure ratchets up at its highest? We know LeBron James is fine in those situations because he's done it forever. We know the Warriors as a collective and individually can all do it. Mm-hmm. We sure Lance Stevenson can do it. We sure Rajon Rondo can do it. I mean, Rondo's got a championship pedigree, okay.
Yeah.
But he's also not a knockdown shooter, right? So, again, there's just different things that I think will limit them when it comes to playing this Warriors team. And then if the Warriors get anything resembling decent play from Boogie, well, lights out there, because the Lakers have no one that's going to stop Boogie.
Well,
right? So
speaking of Boogie, he has said that the Warriors have given him the quote-unquote luxury of kind of taking a step back a little bit and like not
because they don't. Boogie's a luxury for them. They don't need him.
They don't need exactly.
They don't.
And you lose JaVale McGee and you sign Boogie. Okay, it's like fantasy. As Molly Kerm said, fantasy basketball.
They've got Jordan Bell. They've got Kevon Looney. Look, they're fine at the center position. They've got their guys who they've had who have championship experience, so they run it back with. Boogie is a luxury. Again, if Boogie can approximate 70% of what he does. Remember, Boogie was 26, 12, and 5 last year before he got hurt. Everyone loves to say the Pelicans did better when Boogie left. Everyone forgot those 15 or so games before he went down. The Pelicans were humming.
They were so good.
They had a nice 1-2 punch going with Boogie and AD.
I was going to say, they feed off each other so well, and the reason why a lot of people kind of, hated on Boogie a little bit as if they didn't exactly need him was because AD stepped it up just like he was supposed to.
Right, exactly.
So, he filled the void.
Yes.
But Boogie is still a contender. I have a lot of confidence in that Achilles. And like we said, the Warriors are giving him the luxury of kind of taking the step back, rehabbing, working on his game. Not to mention, another thing the Warriors have that every other team really doesn't, especially the Lakers if we're talking about these two going head-to-head, is the fact that the Lakers are going through roster reconstruction. You just said before we started taping, who knows who's going to be on the roster next season?
Idea. We have no idea.
So, while they're reconstructing and getting to know each other on the floor and their style of play with LBJ, the Warriors are sitting there like, okay, let's pass this ball like we do every day.
This is year 3 of the KD era Warriors, right? So they're even more comfortable with one another. I mean, and you're talking about KD, Steph, Clay. You're talking about 3 guys who are in the prime of their careers, who know their games really well. I mean, Draymond. I mean, these guys are ready, man. They're good. They're good. They know what they're doing. And Boogie's a nice addition to that. Look, the thing that makes the Warriors, it's not a foregone conclusion, is, as you know, it's very hard to win multiple titles in this league. And that takes a toll on you, not just physically, but mentally.
Yes.
Right? For the Warriors, and also for Kevin Durant, because you remember the year before, he was with OKC and they went to the Western Conference Finals. This is year 4, and for some of them, year 5 of extended late into June basketball. Listen, that's a lot of basketball. You throw in an Olympic year in there a couple of years ago, that's a lot of ball late into the season.
A lot of pounding on their bodies, on their minds,
Listen,
everything.
And you saw it this year. The Warriors were tired and bored with the regular season. They're like, this is terrible. It's a slog. We don't want to deal with this. So this is an opportunity.
Which caused a little bit of their slumps.
Of course it did, which is why they were not the number 1 seed, right? I mean, so if you're going to pick teams off, you usually pick them off at the year 3 of going for their 3-peat, year 4, because it's hard to maintain that. Think about it. In the history of this league, teams that win 3 in a row, it's very rare they come back and win 4. But I mean, the mid-Celtics in the 60s won 8, but that was a different league and,
different time.
It's hard to win that many championships in a row. I mean, look, as great as the San Antonio Spurs organization is, they never won back-to-back titles. Right? Went to back-to-back finals, never won back-to-back. It is hard to repeat.
Very hard.
Much less three-peat.
Agreed.
It's just a very difficult thing to do. I mean, you saw it with the early 2000s Lakers. I mean, they three-peated, went to try to get, and then listen, that thing blew up because Shaq, Kobe. Think about it.
They're human.
You get on each other's nerves after a while, which is why I said last week, do not be surprised. They win their 3rd. KD wins Finals MVP again. He's like, you know what? I'm good. I got my 3 titles. I got my 3 Finals MVPs. You can't never say I'm a winner. I'm out.
Very true.
And he's a free agent next year. So, as is Klay Thompson. So,
which that will be an interesting time, to say the least.
Without question.
And before we wrap up the LeBron talk, because, I mean, in case some of you are bored, it's about to get juicy. So, you remember that time when Lance Stevenson
blew in
became
LeBron's ear?
A gif and blew in LeBron's ear, and then LeBron had the look like,
oh, God.
like, okay, here we are.
Yeah.
Well, ironically, now they are teammates, as we said. And Lance Stevenson spoke out about it, and I'm going to read a little something for you, and I'm going to open up the floor to you a little bit, and I want to hear how you think that they are going to mesh on the floor with their styles of play, their attitudes, and their past.
Shoot, go for it.
Okay? We have Lance Stevenson, who recently spoke out about LeBron, who actually reached out to him and called him to be part of the Lakers roster, which he obviously accepted. He says, quote unquote, "I was actually surprised he made the move to LA. I guess he needed a new look, and I just feel like him reaching out and showing he likes what I bring to the game. It's amazing. I'm just happy to be on a team that wants to win." Pause right there. Was that a little shade?
I mean, Lance is. I mean, you could argue is a little bit of shade, but look, Indiana, played well.
Victor Oladipo's all about it.
Most improved player. I mean, Victor Oladipo's,
Okay. Seemed like a little shade to me.
A little bit.
But Anyway, on to his next quote. "It's actually funny that I'm actually on the same team as him. I'm very excited to see what this brings. Just playing with him, one of the best players in the game. I can't wait to get on board with him and have fun this season and this year. It's going to be amazing, especially playing with the talent I'm playing with, the high tempo." He's ready to play, and he's excited. How do you think these attitudes and these styles of play are going to mesh? Because I personally don't believe that they are similar.
So here's what I think. LeBron has a level of respect for Lance's game. Lance, if nothing else, is a competitor, right?
Very true.
Lance competes.
Can't knock that or take that away from him.
One of the things that I'm sure many 7-footers know, and if you don't, I'm just gonna, sort of give you a little bit of a history lesson. Lance Stevenson from New York City. Nicknamed Born Ready, right? I mean, this is a kid who in 8th grade was like the talk of the country as the greatest basketball player, coming out of New York, all this jazz. Lance Stevenson, and again, we could talk about whether or not that's, foolish on his part. When he sees LeBron James, doesn't see, oh, this is the greatest player in the world. So in Lance Stevenson's mind, he's like, oh no, I can compete with that dude. That is how Lance's mind works, right? Some might call it irrational confidence. Shout out to Bill Simmons for the irrational confidence guy. But that is Lance's mindset. And again, when you had the nickname Born Ready when you were a 7th or 8th grader, I mean, he was LeBron before LeBron in many ways. Now, their careers did not follow the same trajectory, but again, super hyped is when he was an AAU circuit, same idea. So, because Lance gets on court, he's like, Bron, he's like me. That ain't. So he's not phased or intimidated.
I'm thinking of him blowing in his ear. That's why I'm laughing.
Well, notice in his comment, one of the best players in the league. Like, he didn't even say the best player. He said one of the best. Because Lance thinks he's one of the best players in the league. And listen, true or not, that's just how it is. And that mindset is what allows Lance to compete and roll with LeBron James. Because he's not as talented as LeBron or Kevin Durant or these guys. But, he thinks he is. He's like, these dudes ain't better than me.
I like the confidence.
And so that's what allows him to do what he does. And I think LeBron will be able to harness that and use that when they're on the floor together.
I think he's going to teach him a lot.
He'll teach him a lot. Look, I think Lance, the whole blowing the ear thing. Look, Lance is trying to figure out any kind of advantage he could, right? Because Lance is like, okay, let me see if I can get under this guy's skin and rattle him a little bit.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
And, but of course, not realizing that doesn't work with LeBron, right? You're not going to get under his skin. Like, if anything, you make him play better, if that's possible, right? So, I mean, look, it'll be interesting to see them coexist. Again, notice this team's construction. Everyone except for LeBron and the rookies and those guys are on 1-year deals. They all expire at the end of 2019.
Gotta be safe.
Which means, right, we don't know who's going to be on this team going forward.
That's why it's hard to talk about it a little bit and project what's going to happen, because anything can happen because of the short window of their contracts.
Guess what, Lance, all you guys, this is your tryout too. You want a long-term deal with the Lakers? We'll see how you play this season. And then Magic, Rob, Jeannie, and LeBron will sit down and talk and say, okay, what free agent we're going after? Okay, we're getting this guy. Okay, here's who's staying. Here's who's not staying. And that's just what's going to be. And when you are LeBron James, you can command that kind of input into the franchise because, again, you are the sun in which all of these planets orbit around.
For sure. And before we wrap it up, we have to mention that Ty Lue, Cavs coach, obviously LeBron's former coach, and Luke Walton, Lakers coach, met recently in the beginning of July, and they had a little talk about how to coach LeBron. Ty Lue gave Walton some advice. Walton listened, and they had a nice little exchange. Would I have loved to have been a fly on the wall for that? Absolutely. Would have even paid money. But nobody was invited. However, Ty Lue did release a quote that he was surprised to hear about LeBron leaving the Cavs. And he did not expect it, quote unquote. When I saw, I was shocked and a little hurt by the decision. But like I said, we talked about it, and he said I'm his favorite guy. I love being coached. You make me laugh.
You love it. You love it.
I love it. I love these storylines. But anyway, he was a little hurt. It was unexpected to him. Were you surprised to hear this, that it was unexpected to Ty Lue?
You know, I don't know. I mean, look, Ty may have felt a certain type of way. You know, remember Ty had his health issues this past season.
Yeah.
You know, Ty and LeBron have forged a very good relationship over, I mean, even the years
Which is great.
when Blatt was there and Ty was an assistant coach, right? I mean, that's sort of where that all started from. Look, Ty had to have some kind of inkling, though, that he may not be long for this situation.
Yeah.
But look, that's the nature of
The game.
the game and also life, right? Listen, as we talk about all this time, this is work for these people, right? Yes, it is entertainment to all of you, but it is work for them. Guess what? You get tired of your job sometimes, and when you get tired, the difference is you can leave whenever you want, right? You can just go find another job. These dudes have to wait out their contracts, and then so listen, that's just the nature of how things work out. I think Ty and LeBron will always be fine. They're cool. Listen, they won a championship together. They've been through some battles. It'll be interesting now to see Ty getting a chance to coach a different kind of team without a mega superstar like LeBron James on it. Mm-hmm. And for Luke, it'll be interesting for Luke as a young coach. How do you deal with, in the locker room, a presence like LeBron? Again, not that LeBron's a bad locker room presence by any stretch of the imagination.
But you have such a force in the locker room.
He is the gravity in that locker room,
and he's going to call a lot of the shots.
So the question is, right, like when you have a lot of young guys, how do they see that, right? Are they also listening to Luke? Or are they like, hey, Bron, this is what we're actually doing? So it'll be a very interesting dynamic to see how that develops.
Exactly. I agree. And to establish that dynamic, I think there's going to have to be a lot of dialogue, which it seems there is already since LBJ has been all smiles with a lot of the guys already. So, you know.
Early days, folks. Early days.
Very early days. And let's switch gears a little bit here, and let's move on to another sizzling topic that was in the news this week. Melo is not with
Hoodie Melo or regular Melo?
Ooh.
I mean, does it really matter at this point?
Great. Just
saying.
With the shots. But for real, here we are. Melo is a free agent officially. He's done with OKC. They had a lot of luxury.
He opted into his contract.
Yeah.
And they knew that. They worked the buyout, right? So the question is that they're trying to figure out what makes sense. Should they work with a deal with some of their teams so that other team buys him out? The point being is that he will not be on Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
But Melo has a no trade clause, right? So you can't send him wherever because he's like, no, I'm not going there.
No.
So they're working on a mutual beneficial term for both OKC. Because look, OKC wants to relieve some of that luxury cap that we talked about last week. I mean, $305 is there. $305.
Sounds like me. You sound like me.
$305 million is their annual salary right now, which puts them deep into the luxury tax.
Exactly. We went deep into the luxury tax, and it's not looking good financially a little bit there.
So they need some relief on that.
Exactly, which means Melo is going to be a little bit shopped around here, it seems.
A little bit.
And there are some teams that have already piqued interest in him. Number one, the most buzzed about being the Houston Rockets. My question for you, Gerard, is...
Do I like him on the Rockets?
Does he fit in with the Harden CP3 roster, seeing as he had his issues in Oklahoma City with PG-13 and Russ and was not coming off the bench?
Well, yeah, right. And he said that recently. I'm still not coming off the bench. So, to me, that is Melo's best role. Have him come off the bench, and it'll be instant offense. You're going to worry about playing defense and guarding people because you're playing against second units. If he's going to be in the starting lineup, he's a major void on the defensive end. And look, the Rockets are already suffering on that end, losing Trevor Reeves to the Phoenix Suns in free agency.
Tough loss.
Look, yes, can Melo be better than Reeves was in the playoffs in terms of knocking down threes? Sure, but you're going to lose a lot of your defensive identity. And look, and that's what people don't realize. Houston was a very good defensive team last year.
So good defensive team, especially in the postseason.
Right, and not having Ariza and substituting with Melo, okay, your offense gets better, but your defense gets dramatically worse.
Exactly, and defense wins games.
And the thing is, the type of offense Melo can provide, in my opinion, is not enough to make up for what you're losing defensively and your versatility that way without Ariza and Mbah a Moute, right? Because Melo is not going to be the featured guy on offense. So you've got James Harden for that. Then you have Chris Paul. You have also Clint Capella, which is a whole other situation to figure out, are they re-signing him, what the deal is there. And then Melo fits in somewhere around 3 or 4. So I don't know if Houston is the best fit. Daryl, listen, Daryl knows that they were literally a quarter and a half away from going to the finals. So if he thinks this is going to help them, and D'Antoni thinks it's going to help them, plus that's the other thing. D'Antoni and Melo had their issues in New York, and I know they met recently in Vegas in Summer League.
And they had a positive conversation, according to reports.
Yes, to talk about, can we cope this and work together, and talk about what that role is going to be. Again, starting Melo, no. Off the bench, 15 minutes a game, okay, listen.
The thing is, that fits in a rational situation, but as we said, Melo seems a bit stubborn and he does not want to come off that bench.
A place where he might be able to start and do more is Miami. As crazy as that sounds, right? He might be able to go to Miami and do that down there. And Melo will be fine with South Beach.
D-Wade action?
Hang out with D-Wade if D-Wade re-signs with them. Listen to his other Banana Boat brother crews, Everyone's looking at LA as a sort of a tertiary possibility. But again, with that young roster, and I don't know that it makes sense to bring Melo into that locker room, especially with Luke. And it's too many big veteran guys. It's
for sure.
LeBron's enough to manage in there. With LeBron and Melo, I think would be a mistake at that stage. So,
I don't think Melo to the Lakers whatsoever.
No.
And I'm not sure about the Rockets because, in my opinion, this move has to be crucial for the Rockets because, like we said, they were a quarter away from taking down the Warriors.
1 quarter away, man.
Which means this move is going to hopefully be the one piece that's going to take you over the hump, or at least
that's what you hope.
On the same level.
That's what you hope.
For sure.
Right.
And after, like we said, we lose Clint Capella.
Yeah.
The defense lacks a little bit, so we need a good defensive player in there.
For
Absolutely.
sure. And again, Melo does not tick any of those defensive boxes. So
No.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's definitely a waiting game, and as usual, the 7-footers will update you on that. And that wraps up our first segment
of the day.
And we will see you guys just in a second.
Later.